An elderly woman from Butler County, USA, made a call to the police in 2012, reporting her daughter's disappearance. She claimed that the last time she saw her daughter was on July 4, 2004, and that there has been no trace of her since. This raises the question of why the mother waited until 2012 to report her daughter missing after 8 years. Kimberly Kessler, the missing daughter, was born in 1968 and lived with her mother at the time of her disappearance. She was 36 years old and had a history of multiple marriages and one child. Despite having many friends, none of them knew anything about her disappearance. This story is sure to leave you astounded, so pay close attention to the details. A lot of time had gone by, and people usually give up hope of finding a missing person, especially after so much time has passed with no evidence. But let's fast forward to 2018, where a similar case occurred. Jolene Cummings was from a small town and worked as a hairdresser at a beauty salon. At 34 years old, she was divorced and had 3 children. On May 13, 2018, Jolene had a typical workday and nothing seemed unusual. She had made plans with her ex-husband to take her children out to celebrate her birthday and Mother's Day the next day. Jolene left work at 5 p.m. and was never seen again. Her ex-husband waited for her, but she never showed up. Her mother tried calling her but couldn't reach her. So she notified the police and a search and investigation was initiated. The police immediately headed to the beauty salon where Jolene worked, as it was the last place she was seen before her disappearance. The employees were questioned, and the news of her missing spread sadness throughout the community, as Jolene was well-liked and had no conflicts with anyone. Even clients who didn't know her came to express their support with balloons and flowers. The investigation revealed that Jolene's coworker, Jennifer Seibert, was the last person to see her. The salon manager, Vicky, was on the phone with Jennifer when she informed her that the police were at the salon and needed her statement regarding Jolene's disappearance. Jennifer told Vicky she was out of town and couldn't be there. This sudden departure was suspicious, and Jennifer's response to the police became even more questionable when she claimed she couldn't talk because her ex-boyfriend, a dangerous hacker, was stalking her and would hurt her if her name was mentioned in the investigation. The police were skeptical of her explanation. The search for Jolene continued, and on May 16th, 3 days after her disappearance, her car was found in a parking lot. Despite a thorough examination, no evidence of Jolene or any unusual activity was found in the car. The police scoured the area and nearby woods. Thanks to security cameras, they were able to determine that the car was parked there on Sunday at 1:17 a.m. The footage showed a woman dressed in black who purchased water with a credit card. However, upon closer inspection, it was revealed that the woman was not Jolene, as she had blonde hair, and the woman in the footage had black hair. Further investigation revealed that the woman in the footage was Jolene's coworker, Jennifer. The police obtained Jennifer's address from the salon manager, but found out that the address was fake and not actually Jennifer's. During the investigation, it was discovered that Jennifer was at the parking lot of the salon when she claimed to be out of town. This showed that she was involved in something serious. The police searched for her extensively and eventually found her living in her car in a nearby county. She was immediately arrested, and the police noticed wounds on her face that appeared to have resulted from a fight, not a motorcycle accident as she claimed. Jennifer was accused of stealing Jolene's car, but the police did not disclose their findings from the investigation. The investigation at the beauty salon appeared routine until the police used a luminol device, which detects white blood remnants at crime scenes. The police found copious amounts of blood at the crime scene, belonging to both Jolene and Jennifer. Despite Jennifer's attempt to clean the scene, she failed to notice the bloodstains on her shoes, which were later identified as Jolene's. The police also found Jennifer's fingernails scattered in the warehouse and a substantial amount of hair, as well as the cleaning products used to erase the evidence. All evidence pointed to a brutal fight occurring inside the salon. In light of this discovery, the police held a press conference where they announced their belief that Jolene had likely been killed and was no longer alive. The police have gathered additional evidence that supports this theory, but are not yet releasing it to the public. Furthermore, security footage shows Jennifer disposing of heavy bags in garbage cans, buying large trash bags, an electrical knife, a chainsaw, and a bottle of ammonia, further incriminating Jennifer in Jolene's disappearance. By piecing together all the clues, we come to the realization that Jennifer bought equipment in preparation for a murder and to hide her crime. To convict Jennifer, the police needed substantial evidence. Yet, despite the clues pointing to her as Jolene's murderer, she was not convicted due to the lack of a body. As the saying goes, no body, no crime. This made Jolene a missing person rather than a murder victim. But is Jennifer really the murderer? No. The actual culprit is Kimberly Kessler, the missing girl we mentioned earlier who was reported missing by her mother in 2012. It was Kimberly who committed the murder. The investigators discovered that Jennifer was a false name and belonged to a teenage girl who died in a car crash in 1987. Thus, Jennifer has been dead since 1987, while Kimberly is the one responsible for the entire crime. Can you believe it? Kimberly committed a murder under a false name and carried on with her life. The mystery is why she did it and where she was from 2004 to 2018. It was revealed that Kimberly was on the run for those years and Jennifer was one of the many fake identities she used, with 24 total. She moved from city to city, state to state, using different names and disguising herself, even going as far as to pick names from grave markers. Kimberly had wigs in various styles and colors, worked various jobs with different names, and had a fake driver's license. Her ability to blend in and change her appearance allowed her to go unnoticed for years. However, Jolene, the murder victim, had some knowledge of Kimberly, and their relationship at the salon was reportedly tense with occasional arguments. Although Kimberly had only worked at the salon for 2 months, Jolene felt that she was hiding something suspicious and potentially dangerous. The salon manager, Vicky, reported that Jolene expressed her concerns about Kimberly, who went by the name Jennifer in the salon, multiple times. Jolene claimed that Jennifer was strange and always wore wigs to change her appearance. When Vicky asked her about it, Jennifer said she was trying to run from her ex-husband. Jolene also told a coworker that she planned to investigate Jennifer's past to uncover what she was hiding. When Kimberly found out about this, she grew worried that Jolene might discover her secrets, so she decided to get rid of her. Kimberly frequently called the manager and complained about Jolene, saying she was always late and sometimes stole money from the safe. However, the manager checked the safe and found nothing missing, indicating that Kimberly was trying to find a way to get rid of Jolene. Eventually, she succeeded and took Jolene's life. There was another piece of evidence linking Kimberly to the murder, which was her phone's search history. There were some concerning searches in her history prior to the murder, such as murderer coworker, how to hide a body, no crime, female serial killers list, the devil, the witch, and other odd queries. After Jolene vanished, it was revealed that Kimberly had searched for Jolene's last name, Cummings, 457 times, trying to find out if the authorities had found her body. Despite a search of 6 million pounds of waste, the authorities were unable to locate Jolene's body. The question of what Kimberly was running from all these years was also posed to her in court. She claimed that she was running from her ex-husband, but when the police questioned him, he stated that he was actually trying to run from her and had not been keeping track of her or even heard from her in a long time after she disappeared. The police's investigation into Kimberly took a strange turn when they questioned her mother about her sudden disappearance. The mother was agitated and suggested that Kimberly may have fled due to a lack of support. Further digging into Kimberly's past uncovered a notebook filled with names, including her mother's with the word devil written next to it multiple times. Her relationship with her mother was strained. Among the names in the notebook was Tim Barnes, who dated Kimberly in the 1990s. Tim told investigators that Kimberly had once visited him and hit him and his mother, and even killed his cat with a gun. People feared Kimberly for her aggressive demeanor and foul language, as well as her belief in bizarre ideas like executing drug users to serve humanity. The investigation into Kimberly took a strange turn when the cops discovered a frequently mentioned name in her notebook. Kurt Christopher Allen, abbreviated as KCA, an old friend of hers, confirmed that Kurt was one of the people she had dated in the past. However, when the police tried to find Kurt, they learned that he had died, but the cause and circumstances of his death remained unknown. Another mysterious death came to light when the police searched for a woman named Bartley. Bartley died in Pennsylvania, where Kimberly grew up, and she was the wife of Tim, another one of Kimberly's ex-boyfriends. Tim and his son, along with Bartley, were also included in the names in Kimberly's notebook. Although the exact reason behind Kimberly writing these names remains unclear, her notebook contained many bizarre writings, and the words devil and witch appeared frequently. Kimberly's behavior during the trial was equally unusual as she discussed strange topics with her lawyer, including George Washington, secret organizations, and religious books, unrelated to her case. In the courtroom, she suddenly started shouting, causing the judge to order her lawyer to remove her from the proceedings. The lawyer attempted to communicate with Kimberly, but she continued to shout. The judge became concerned with Kimberly's unusual and unstable behavior and ordered her to be evaluated by 2 psychologists. One psychiatrist claimed that during his session with Kimberly, she spoke about unrelated matters and seemed distant, leading him to diagnose her with personality and delusional disorders and severe mental health issues. He also stated that she had hallucinations and paranoia, and became so angry that she ended the session after only 30 minutes. However, a licensed mental health consultant named Grandy disputed the first doctor's diagnosis, arguing that diagnosing a patient in less than 30 minutes is irrational. He pointed out that there are 10 different personality disorders, and it is impossible to determine which one Kimberly may have without more thorough evaluation. Kimberly was suspected of being a professional criminal due to her ability to fake multiple identities, a criminal act in itself. The complexity of faking identities for so many years and disposing of a body was not something to be taken lightly. However, it can be difficult to differentiate between those who are truly suffering from mental illness and those who are pretending for self-incrimination. It is possible that Kimberly is both mentally ill and manipulative. In 2019, the judge deemed Kimberly ineligible for trial due to her mental illness, and she was placed in a detention center for treatment. An inmate reported that Kimberly attempted suicide while in the asylum, and she was said to have discussed the Bible in search of a loophole to allow her to go to heaven after taking her own life. Kimberly's behavior was also described as strange and irritating, which annoyed both inmates and guards. The guards reported that she was unpleasant to be around, often yelling and throwing trash at them, and using foul language to offend them. It was clear that Kimberly's health had significantly declined. In the latest update on Kimberly's case, 2 years after her therapy sessions, the judge has declared her fit for trial. Despite her declining health, she remains defiant and denies any wrongdoing. At her recent court appearance, she was seen in a wheelchair, having lost a significant amount of weight due to a hunger strike. Throughout her proceedings, Kimberly has made various attempts to convince the judge of her mental incapacity, exhibiting erratic behavior. However, the judge was aware of her attempts at deception. Kimberly's case is a disturbing one, having taken the life of a mother and left 3 children without a parent, with no clear motive. This concludes today's video on Kimberly's situation. If you found it interesting, please show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing the video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more content.